Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of the tutorial where we'll be discussing how to utilize some tools in AutoCAD. On our drawing interface, we have an illustration which we will be demonstrating, and through that we'll be able to utilize some of the tools in AutoCAD. So the first tools we'll be working on or we'll be using is the line tool. The command for line is L. So, and also you can see this is the command. You can choose a line on the ribbon bar. You can also find it there. So this is the line. A line, you can decide it will ask you to specify the next point. So you can either draw it using point or you specify using distance. So I'll just give it a distance. So this is the line. So you can decide to reduce if you want, but this is so simple. So for the next tool we'll be using is the polyline. So the command for polyline is PL, and also you can locate it at also on the ribbon bar. This is the polyline. So a polyline PL, okay, this is a polyline. So you can be entering your distance. It depends on if you have a specific distance you want to enter. For distance now, okay, let's say we are entering let me say 5 meter, that is 5,000 millimeter. Okay, it depends on the angle you want also. So let me say 5 meter. Okay, so now what I want to show us now is the difference between a line and a polyline. As you can see, polylines are in loop. Yes, and you can see these are the grips. If you remember when we are discussing about the tools in AutoCAD and the drawing settings and the rest, I was talking about grip. So as you can see, it has grips. So on the grips now, it can add. You can either convert to arc. So if you want to convert your polyline to arc, this is how you can do it. And also you can add vertex, maybe another point. You can stretch. So the basic difference between a line and a polyline is a polyline is in loop form. Loop means you can connect to each other and you can be selected as one, while a line is different. It cannot be selected as one. They are not, they are disjointed. So that is a line. So now also one of the tools we'll be working on today is the rectangle. Now you see this is the rectangle. This is the rectangle, and also the command for rectangle is REC. So once you pick up the command, maybe from the tool from the ribbon bar, it will ask you. Now when you are working with the tool in AutoCAD, you must try and make sure that you are looking at the display at the status bar, the display option, because the display window now will show you what that is the medium of communication between the user and the AutoCAD. So by choosing the rectangle now, it's telling me to specify the corner. So once I click on any point of the interface, it will now ask you, is it you want to enter the area or you want to go by dimension? So I want to give it, maybe since it's a rectangle I want to give it by dimension. So D now, by choosing the dimension, it means D. So it's asking me to enter the length. So maybe I enter 5 meter. Then it's asking me for the width again. Maybe let me enter 2 meter. So you have your rectangle, which is measured 5 meter by 2 meter. So that is how we can achieve a rectangle by using the tool in AutoCAD. So now as I have said earlier, we're going to be demonstrating what we have here. So this is a rectangle now that is measuring 10 meter by 5 meter. So we'll quickly make that with the rectangle tool. So we enter our dimension D, specifying the length, let's say 10 meter, the breadth now, or the width, 5 meter. So we already have what we have here. So also for the line, you can just take your command L, you can draw at any point. So that is the line we have. So now we want to talk about the circle. We have different type of circle. We have the center radius. If you look at the type of circle, we have the center radius, we have the center diameter, the 2 points, the 3 points, the tan radius, the tan. So for the center radius, it's just a circle you draw by putting the dimension for the radius. So if you are choosing a center radius, it will just ask you, look at your display window, it's asking me to enter the radius. So let's assume my radius is 500, you see. So automatically you have your circle with the radius. A center diameter. The difference between center radius and center diameter is that it's asking you now to impute the diameter. So for instance now, and we all know that a radius is half the length of a diameter. So if I'm emptying a diameter now, if I want to have the same cycle, as you can see, it's measuring, the measurement is from one part of the circle to the other, which is the diameter. So automatically, if I want to have this type of a circle, I will have my diameter to be 1000. As you can see, they are of the same size. So this one, you want to draw a circle with a radius. Maybe for instance, you are working on a design and you have a radius being given, and you don't want to make calculations for a diameter, you can simply impute your radius. And also, if you have a diameter and which is given, you can quickly use this. So they are almost the same, but these are the key differences between them. So we have the 2-point circle. The 2-point circle now is talking about when you have, you can equally call it a center diameter, because it's still, you have a 2 points. 2 points are known, which are one part of the circle to the other. So as you can see, this is it's saying specify second endpoint. So it's still like, so if I'm specifying 1000 now, you see it's almost the same. So 1 point here, 1 point here, and also here 1 point here, 1 point here is still the diameter, because the distance between this point to this point is the diameter. So it's almost the same, but they are just trying to tell you, okay, in situations where you have dimensions from this part of the circle to the other. So as you can see, these are the 3-point circle now. Maybe you have 3 known points, and the distance from this is now, they are not sharing the circle into 2 equal parts. So the line can be running from one part of the circle to the other. So you have 3 known points. So if you have 3 known points and you want to draw a circle with 3 known points, you're going to use the 3-point circle. So the 3-point circle now, just make sure that you're looking at the display window so that you know the command the AutoCAD wants to take in. So you see specify second point. So if you have a particular distance, for instance now this is let's say this is 851, it will ask you to specify the third point now. So the third point now, let's say the third point is 443. So if you have, so now I'm drawing a point, a circle with 3 points now. So I don't really have a specific distance, but you can equally try that when you want to maybe have a recap of what we are doing now. So we have the tan radius. So the tan radius now, we all know that a tan now is a tan can be achieved when you have an intersection between a circle and cutting through a straight line. So if you want to have a tan radius, maybe I come to this at right angle. So it's asking me to specify. So I have one point, I have another point, and it will ask you to impute a radius. Now my radius is 500. So as you can see, I have a tan with a radius. But for the last one, which is the tan, the tan now is talking about where I have 3 points, maybe my circle touching up 3 points. So if you want to create a circle in where you have 3 points of intersection, that is when you use the tan type of circle. So let me quickly use my polyline to create what I have here. Okay, so I want to use arc on your polyline. When you look at the display window, I want to use arc. Okay, this is it. Then go back to your polyline L. Then you can close. If you want to close, you can simply press C, enter, so it will close automatically. So as you can see, I have my closed loop polyline. So now I want to construct a tan cycle. I choose on tan. So I choose the first point, second point, third point. As you can see, you have your tan circle. So also, lastly, what we'll be discussing today is the polygon now. So you can also create a polygon. So it depends on what size you want. You see, it's asking me, look at the display window. It's asking me to enter the number of sides. So you have 4 already. If you want to create 5 sides, you can use pentagon. So it will ask you to specify the center. So you want to inscribe in the cycle or circumscribe about a cycle. So you see, so it's now asking you for the radius you want. Let me use 500. So you see, you have your pentagon, 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are a few ways you can utilize some of the key tools in AutoCAD. So we have come to the end of today's episode of the tutorial. Make sure you like and you subscribe. Thank you.